Financing within an EPR system demands that the cost of managing the packaging product after it has been used by the consumer is included in the total cost of the product. Obliged companies under the producer definition will include this cost within their products and pay that money to a producer responsibility organization for the management of their packaging waste.
The companies that have to pay into the system essentially depend on the legal framework in the country concerned. But in most cases, these are the companies putting packaged goods on the market as the first company distributing these goods in the country concerned. What is very important here is that this both includes the companies that produce locally and the companies that import a packaged product into this country, so that there is a level playing field between the domestic producers and the importers.
Within an extended producer responsibility system, the producer definition, or who is obliged to pay into the system, is one that is debated quite often. In my opinion, it is much easier to take a package off a shelf, which has a brand that you can pinpoint and say, I know who made this, and I know exactly where to go if this person is not paying into an EPR system. Makes it easier to identify who is responsible or who should pay. In that respect, brand owners, retailers, as well as any entity that imports a product that is not locally made into the Ghanaian market should be obliged. These entities can work with their value chain in order to cascade and distribute the costs. However, in order to simplify the financing of an EPR system, the entity that brands the product, brings it into the market, should be the one to pay under an EPR system.
The total amount that each obliged company has to pay to the PRO depends on the quantity, which is usually based on weight and the material of the packaging they use. And in addition, some countries also have a unit fee per item. And in almost all countries, there are different fees for the different packaging materials. So there's a different fee for plastics than there is for paper. And some countries by now even further modified this by applying a bonus-malus system, which is based on the recyclability of the packaging. And each packaging needs to be weighed and certified what kind of material is used to give verification to the system. When setting up a financing system, it is crucial to know two things. Firstly, there are the annual costs for the waste management activities, as well as the administrative costs and other activities like communication, awareness campaigns, or education. And this needs to be assessed on an annual basis, which is particularly challenging when the system is initially set up. So in order to address this, it is needed to have a thorough research and analysis in the beginning to have a good estimation on these costs. And then secondly, there are the total costs and the type of packaging, which is also annually introduced to the market. And here it's quite challenging to ensure that all companies register and pay for the correct amounts, and also to prevent free riders.
There can be many challenges in setting up the financing system under an EPR. Is the PRO that will be managing the finances trustworthy? Are they accountable for how the money is spent? Are all obliged companies paying into the system? How was the amount for the fees per each packaging type and how it will be managed derived? Who is monitoring the PRO as it is using these funds? Within Ghana specifically, some of the issues I could see are the potential for free riders.
If it comes to the financing of the green dot, we have expenditures on the one hand side. That is the cost for collection, which is the biggest block of cost. Roughly 60% of the whole cost is collection cost. We have costs for sorting, we have costs for recycling, we have costs to finance communication campaigns, and we have costs to pay the municipalities a rent fee for the container sites. Container sites has to be cleaned. All this is covered by an EPR system here in Germany. And we have approximately 25% of residual waste in our collection bin. So that is a significant amount of waste where we are responsible to take care of, and we have to bring it to an incineration plant where it is treated thermally, and we have to pay for that, yes. On the other hand, we have income by selling the collected, sorted and recycled material, but there it is a very volatile market, and with the corona crisis, for example, the plastic recycling market has nearly collapsed, is under very big pressure, so the income from selling these materials is very low, but EPR makes sure that the system works properly even in crisis situation like COVID or Corona. We have celebrated 30 years just in September 2020, and if we come to the topic of what was a big problem in the financing system, we have to go back to the starting period where we had a lot of participation of the consumers in the separate collection. So we collected a lot of material, but those who are under EPR didn't pay, or didn't pay what they should have paid. So right in the first year of full operation, we had a deficit of 1 billion Deutschmark at that time. Still a lot of money in euro times, 500 million euro per year. So that was the biggest obstacle in the starting period. And policymakers started a repair mechanism, introduced an enforcement so that all those who are obliged to pay really paid, and we were able to solve that. But in general, this free rider problem, I think this is another name for that phenomenon, the free rider problem is still there. We have to fight it with enforcement,